Thank you, everyone, for taking part in Stocks for Tots last week in Mooresville, North Carolina, and for watching it here at Stock Car Facts. And I'm sorry, I can't read my comments on my app on my phone. It's crazy. So I got to go through another YouTube page to read the comments. So if I haven't been commenting, then that's why. But anyway, we return to our regular feature, Confessions of a NASCAR Photographer. This is part 3 with LaDon George. And thank you, Brian Hallman, for hosting and putting all this together.
So when Seen and Illustrated split, it was you, Tim Wilcox, Jim Fluharty, Jeff Robinson, Elmer Capel.
Right. That was the Illustrated crew.
That was Illustrated crew.
Right.
And y'all used to run around a good bit, right?
Well, yeah, we tried to. Well, we ran with us and ran with some of the scenes people like you, and we go to the go-kart tracks and race go-karts and stuff like that. And some places, we had a place in Watkins Glen that we ran, and we used to run a race with crew members and media.
The MRO did that, I believe, Motor Racing Outreach.
Right, photographers. And it was like 4 or 5 on each team, you know. And we used to different areas. Talladega, you remember Talladega was hit and go.
Moore's Family Fun Center,
right,
in Anniston.
Right.
That's where we used to go.
And then they had a place in Watkins Glen. Well, actually, it was outside of Corning there. And then we had a place in Charlotte. A couple other places we ran, but it was a series that we ran in. It was just a fun series, you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, so yeah, but we used to do different things. Like the Illustrated guys were pretty close together, okay? We kind of hung together. We go, and it depends on who went to what race, okay? Sometimes there'd just be 2 of us at a race. Sometimes there'd be 4 of us at a race. So, you know, Elmer didn't go all, I was the only one that went all the time, okay? And except when Timmy and Fluharty went, okay? Big races, everybody went. Talladega,
Daytona,
Charlotte, stuff like that. But, like California, this was, not Simona much, but yeah, let me think. Simona, I guess.
That's where everybody would go to San Francisco.
No.
And then Fontana.
Right, yeah. Everybody go to San Francisco. Fontana, everybody go downtown Hollywood, you know. I went once. A couple of us went once, and that was it, you know.
Phoenix.
Phoenix was the big spot, okay? Because there, when we were separated, we'd get off and we could, like Jeff and I, or Timmy and I, we'd go to out in the desert, okay, and try to shoot cactuses and different art. We call it art stuff, and we also the rent-a-car was a big play toy. We take turns in the desert. There's nothing around you but a damn desert. We take the car and get going. Let's do circle 8s or circles, or thing was go down, pull the emergency brake, and spin backwards. You know. So anyway, there was that kind of stuff, and then Phoenix, we'd go to Tombstone. We went to Tombstone, and Ernie with Scene went with us, and Tim. Forget who all went with us, but we went down to Tombstone. You know, we'd do this stuff like on Friday or Saturday when we were off. Always find something to do, and that was one of the Tombstones were pretty cool. Different places that we went, but we pretty much ate together. then
No, y'all shared a room together. Everybody.
yeah, we shared rooms together. It started off like Tim and Fluhart. They split a room, and Jeff and I would, or Jeff, I, and Elmer. You know, yeah. And when I first started with Scene and Illustrator, you were out there with us in a 10-door room.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well, what I remember the most was when I started, I didn't know any of y'all.
Yeah.
And we were on our own for a room, and you and John Talent usually had a room reserved,
Right.
or Jerry Hayslip, I think, was involved.
Yeah.
So y'all were reserving your own room, and then I'd pay a percentage and get some floor space.
Right.
But that
right.
was better than me paying $100 a night
Right.
for a room.
And they got more than that. It got
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, this was in the early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, it got ridiculous what they were charging motels, you know, for races.
And then at some point, Scene finally started getting a room for the
Right.
Scene guys.
Right.
I don't know what you illustrated guys got, but we had one room, and we would literally have 8 to 10 people
Yeah.
to a room.
Yeah.
So we had air mattresses and sleeping in
Right.
bathtubs and
All
everything.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
So I know we've mentioned Jeff Robinson a time or two. You've got to have a good Jeff Robinson story that you can tell.
let me see.
Well, it's that time of year. Christmas shopping. You still got a few more days left to go to this link or go to 279 North Main Street in Moxville. But make sure to use this link, and we'll also put it in the comments section, to get proper credit to who's selling and to make sure that you find that perfect gift for that perfect someone. Thanks. And let them know you saw it here at Stock Car Facts.
One time we went out west, San Francisco, and Robinson was with us, and some of the Scene guys, and we were touring downtown, cable cars and all that stuff, acting like a tourist. And we came up on Lombard Street, the one street that's crooked going down in San Francisco that all the tourists go down. So Robinson decided he was going direct traffic. So he goes out in the middle of the street and starts directing traffic. People that want to go to Lombard, people that want to go straight, everything. And he was doing a pretty good job. And a cop came up, stopped. He was like an undercover cop or whatever. And he talked to him, and he said something to him, and he said, "You're doing a good job there. Just keep it up. Make sure they're going the right way." And ran off and left and didn't say a word about anything. So then Robinson kept on directing traffic. A bunch of us got on the cable car, went down to the end, and they made us get off so they could turn the car around. And we found our way back. We went down to the where all the tourists went,
The Fisherman's Wharf.
Biffin Wharf. And
And we went to Alcatraz.
yeah, we went to Alcatraz also. One time, Wilcox, me, and Robinson, when we were shooting Phoenix, Friday they had a dust storm there, and so at the track. And then Saturday everything was nice, and we took off because we wanted to go to Grand Canyon. But it had been snowing, not in Phoenix, but in Flagstaff. So we left to go up, going up, the closer we got, the deeper the snow got. And nobody was on the highway with us, and in the grader who was clearing the roads. So we stopped at one rest area there and got out and called everybody. And then we followed the snowplow and then got up and got over to the Grand Canyon. And it wasn't snowing over there. But we pulled up to the gate. And Robinson goes, "Oh, Yogi the Bear, Yogi the Bear." The guard there where you pay, and he asked the guy. He said, "How many people fall off every year?" He didn't think there was any. He said, "About 7 people, 8 people a year fall out of the canyon." I said, "Damn." So we went up. There's another thing. We went to the canyon, visited Grand Canyon for a day.
No.
One time, Will Cox and I think Jeff, we went to Flagstaff and got on Route 66. Or Jim too, I think. But anyway, we got on Route 66 and went one way one time, and then next trip we went the other way. We went to Winslow and a lot of different places on Route 66. So, and when we went to Chicago, I drove part of the way out of Chicago where it started. Then when we were in California, I went part of the way to where it ended at the pier there.
So you got to do both ends in the middle.
Yeah. So, and that was neat. I'd like to do the whole thing, but I got to see what I got to see. And there was a lot of characters on Route 66 and stuff. And some of the stuff was still abandoned. You look at, say this was the highway. This is the only thing it was then out there. So, but yeah, that one of the stories.
Now I know y'all had assignments at Illustrated, didn't you?
Right.
Because you only shot races on Sundays.
Right.
And Saturday was assignment day.
No, Saturday was.
Saturday. I'm sorry.
Was pretty
was
much
assignment
free.
day.
So, we could stay there and do stuff, but we had one scene in Illustrated went back together. We had to do trucks, we had to do bush, we had to do cup.
Okay.
We had to do all 3 of them. Okay, so then we were there Friday or Saturday and Sunday, just depending, But yeah, we had slips. Fluhardt would give us slips on what each person needed to get.
What type of thing would it be? Like just a headshot, a crewman shot, or something on a car?
Yeah, it'd be a headshot, a couple different headshots, shots him leaning up against the car, all kinds of stuff.
So it would be that specific?
Yeah.
Like they want a picture of the driver leaning?
Yeah. And then you had assignments where there's a PR stuff or whatever. You had to go shoot that, and usually we always shot a new driver change, car colors and stuff like that. But yeah, and a lot of it was pretty much laid back. Fluhardt let us do what we needed to do and do what we wanted to.
Yeah.
Fluhardt got to where he trusted all of us. We could go by ourselves or go with him. Or a lot of times he stayed at Charlotte because I guess he got tired of traveling so much. But he stayed at Charlotte, and sometimes I'd be by myself at a track, and that's where it got kind of hectic,
So you would have all the assignments that were for the weekend. You had to go do them.
Right. Yeah. But then you got to get race coverage. So you got to go in turn 1 or something and shoot some stuff there. You got to get shots on pit row, and then you got to go to turn 4 or something, get shots, and then depending on if they had a big crash or something, you had to go to the garage and get shots of the wrecked cars or whatever. I mean, it's just varied. We shot drivers' wives sometimes, children, drivers and family together. Stuff like that.
So whatever feature story was coming up.
Yeah. And you didn't do it that one race. We had a list. Our book came out every month, but you had like 4 weeks between printings. Okay, so, but then sometimes it came down to deadline. Like, you got to get that shot today. You can't. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't.
Now, I know that in some of your stuff, I know there's some pictures of you with the Petty family, Kyle Petty family. I think it's at the South Carolina house you went to shoot.
Yeah.
Did you do much of that?
Yeah, we did some of that. I even went to Mark Martin's house and shot in Daytona, shot his airplane in the garage, and I went there because Fluharty and Tim had shot some of the interior of the house already, but they needed the plane and everything. So I went up, couldn't nobody answer the front door, and so I ran around back where the hangar. It's not it's a hangar, but it's actually part of the house.
Yeah.
And knocked on the door, and he came to the door, and he knew I was coming. They always knew. So we walked inside the hangar, and it's kind of dark in there, you know. But the floor was all tiled, checkered, and everything. I said, I didn't need to open the door so I get some light. He said, how long are you going to be here with the door open? He says, air conditioned. The hangar was air conditioned. You know, I said, not that long. I just need, you know. So I shot all that and got out of there. But yeah, you went to different places, to different people, and shot their houses, or because it was more illustrated than it was seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more.
Was that an uncomfortable thing to do, to go into somebody's house and take pictures of it, or is it just something?
Depends on how you got along with them, I guess. I mean, we shot a lot of motorhomes, inside motorhomes with families.
Yeah.
You know, Almendinger and his first wife, motorhome. He was cool too, but yeah, whatever you need, tell us what you want to do. I said, yeah, just be you. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was more illustrated, more family and personality than scene. Scene was racetracks, and drivers, you know. So, but yeah, we went different ones. Let me see.
Well, no, talking about families, you were around long enough to see people.
Talking about drivers, we also went. I shot some different ones, like Frank Warren, that used to race back in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he lived here in Orlando, and he worked at Disney.
Okay.
He worked on the race car track. Not the race car, but it was a ride that you rode.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got with him and went to his house, shot him. He was working on cars and left there, and he got me into Disney. We went. He worked a night shift, so I went over there at night and shot him working on the rail cars, you know, stuff like that, you know.
Now I know Illustrated used to do features on some of the older drivers. Did you get to do many of those?
Some of them, but a lot of them were up near Charlotte and stuff.
Okay.
Unless they were out here or we were at a track where they were, you know.
Yeah.
They did the majority of them. I did a few of them. Daytona, a couple people, and Smokey Unit.
So,
Stuff on him.
what was Smokey like?
Smart. I mean, not smart at you.
He was a smart guy.
Yeah, he was intelligent. Yeah.
Was he arrogant or?
No, I mean, he wasn't with me or.
Yeah.
And we went over and shot stuff at his shop there in Daytona, best damn garage in town.
Yep.
Yeah, and then then after he passed away, his daughter had us come over and do some stuff over there and look at stuff. Yeah, but he was a nice guy. Yeah, Smokey was.
That was one thing. It's always neat to meet some of the people
that were there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you got opportunity to
do some of them, you know.
So you did a lot. Did you do a lot with Richard?
Yeah, some, but I also went to Richmond and did.
Lenny Pond?
No, Julie Dublin.
Junie Donlevy.
Donlevy, yeah, you can cut that up. Did Julie Donlevy, went up there and shot him and his place, his garage and house. Went to him and his wife and everything. He was a great guy too. A lot of these people aren't like some people think they are. The majority of them just down to earth, just like you and I.
Yeah.
You know. And talking about favorite drivers, Julie, he was a low-income race car driver. But I'll tell you a story about another race car driver I forgot to tell you. J.D. McDuffie. You remember him?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was at the bottom level down there at cars. He was always Daytona and everybody place. He was trying to get a race in. He was a low-funded car. And I got to know J.D. Quite well, not off the track, but at the track. He'd be standing in the garage and looking at. When I first started, I asked him, I said, how's everything going, J.D.? He said, well, I got pretty good handling. I just don't have any speed. So I said, the Florida lottery. I said, J.D., when I win the lottery, I'll buy you 2 different engines so you can run. He said, that sounds good. So every time I'd come by the garage, he said, did you win the lottery yet? And then I was in Watkins Glen when he got killed.
You were there?
Yeah, I saw in fact, he crashed at where the site, right beside the site I was shooting. But that morning I talked to him, he used to get a lot of parts, used parts from different Hendricks, Childress. They'd give him stuff that they didn't need anymore. And some of it was pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that morning he said, I forget what he told me. I think he said, I got some new brakes or something. Some new stuff. He said, I think I'll do pretty good today. And that's when it turned 11, whatever it's called. That's before they put concrete there. He came off, and when you hit grass, you pick up speed.
Yeah.
And he went into the barrier, and then what's his name landed on top of him. 52.
Yeah, Jimmy Means.
Jimmy Means landed on top of it. And I knew it was bad when they took out sheets of black plastic and stuff, But yeah, but he was a great guy. I got photos of him. He smoked a cigar in the car. He had that cigar in his mouth. I don't know if he smoked it all the time, but he might not have smoked it.
I think he chewed on them.
He chewed on them pretty good. Yeah, he was a good guy.
In your time, there were a lot of driver fatalities in that period because we lost J.D., Grant Adcox. We had some Arctic guys. Yep, Adam. Were you?
Yeah, that was at Loudon.
Were you at Loudon that day?
Yeah. And then they had Michigan when
Ernie got hurt.
Ernie got hurt, and yeah.
And
but Davies, another guy that was a driver, that was a great young driver. We go to Phoenix, and he had me. I'd go out with him, his and PR guy, and playing golf at some of the different things, But majority of them were pretty nice people,
Yeah.
And I forget who else I shot. I mean, you were there when it happened. That driver in the what was it?
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Russell Phillips.
Yeah. They hit the fence and ripped the car off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were. You were at Daytona in 2001 with Earnhardt. Were you still at the track when they announced it?
Yeah, I was shooting Victor Lane. In fact, before the race, Ernie Mache, I think it was Grass. I forget who else was with us. We went over to Earnhardt's motorhome. And we had to do something, or Ernie or somebody did, and we were talking to him. And he said, feel good this year, been working out. I'm ready to go. I'm going to do it again this year. And sat there a little bit, okay. And we left. And then when the race started, we all had radios to communicate with us between photographers, if somebody needed something or what. And we also had channels of the cars, drivers. For some reason, I kept Earnhardt on my radio all day. when Tony wrecked on the backstretch, he came on the radio. I think he was talking to Childress, I think. He said, if they don't, exactly something to the, if they don't watch out with all this stuff, somebody's going to get killed one of these days. And just, I don't know why I kept him on all day. Usually I scan, you know. But yeah, and then when I was in turn 4, shooting turn 4. 20 laps to go, I had to leave turn 4 and go to Victory Lane, shoot Victory Lane. So I left where he was wrecked at.
Yeah.
But I went to Victory Lane, and then we saw where he hit the wall and everything. He's hit worse than that.
Yep.
You know? And then when, what's his name, went over to the car.
Kenny Schrader.
Kenny Schrader went over the car and started waving. We knew something wasn't right, so that's. And then Michael was in Victory Lane, and he was waiting for Dale to come up and congratulate him, you know. So that was really a mess up there between, you know. And then after Victory Lane, we went to the media center, and Mike Hilton said, that he's passed, you know, so.
One of the most underrated pictures I think I've ever seen, and you might have it as well, I know Jeff Robinson does, is Michael Waltrip in Victory Lane. And Kenny Schrader comes into Victory Lane and puts his arm around him and whispers in his ear.
Yeah.
And you know what he's telling.
Right.
Now you know what he was telling Mikey.
Right.
And to me, that's just such a powerful picture that most people don't think about.
And the expression on Mike's.
But you know exactly what he's telling Mikey at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And so...
I might have something there.
Yeah. That's tough. Were you down there when Neil Bonnet got killed?
Yeah.
Neil I always thought Neil was a good guy. Did you?
Yeah.
Think?
Oh yeah, he was nice to me. Oh, you know, he was Neil Bonnet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have any drivers that really disliked me, I guess. When they didn't want you to tell you, no.
And I'm sure they were the same way with everybody else.
Yeah.
But
and then we got shots that other people didn't get.
That's when the uniform shirts came in handy.
Right. We had one time we had the shirts, the pants, and everything. And at one time we had a grays and whites and blacks uniform, illustrated.
Yeah.
Down the pant leg said illustrated. Fans would think we were Dale Earnhardt's crew. Hey, come here. Just sign this. So why? Earnhardt's crew. We're not Dale Earnhardt's crew. We're illustrated. Yes, you are. You know, they wouldn't read a damn thing on
It
your
just
shirt.
looked similar.
Yeah.
Did you ever sign any autographs?
Yeah. And I signed my name. I put L.A. or LaDon. Yeah. But yeah. That was another distinct thing, that they knew who we were when we were in the garage.
And I think that helped, because there were times when, in my case, they would see me with we never got the pants at the scene.
Right.
We just had the shirts.
Yeah.
But you would see security scurry some other people away, and you could just walk right on by because you looked the part.
Yeah. That was helped. And we changed shirts at different times. For Cup, we had Cup, and then we had illustrated shirts, you know, when they changed and everything. But yeah, something else I was going to tell you, but I forgot. Oh, the story about Bill Elliott. You'd see these nice photos, headshots and stuff, in illustrated, and down the bottom photo, Cindy.
About Cindy Karam.
Yeah. Well, what that was going on there was before they got married, before they met or whatever. You experienced it too, as far as Elliot. You go up and shoot him, he'd turn his head this way or look that way or whatever. Then we got on, and we'd have 3 or 4 photographers surround him and shoot him, you know.
Yep.
But Cindy could go right up and whatever you wanted. Well, we found out the truth about that later. But anyway, yeah, he was one. And there are sometimes a lot of them would do that. You know, then there are some that sit there and whatever you want, shoot it. You know, especially during qualifying out at the car
Yep.
and stuff.
The one I always remember is Morgan Shepherd. Morgan would always smile for you.
Oh, yeah.
He could be holding the transmission up, and if he
Right.
saw you, he'd smile for
Yeah, and Derek Cope was another one. Every time you walked in, he knew you wanted to take a he was ready. Yeah, Derek Cope and Morgan Shepherd was another one. Yeah, there were several of them like that, but some of them I used to just play games with you.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, that was one.
Doesn't matter if it's a comment, doesn't matter if it's a like, but doesn't matter if you hit that share button and post it on your own social media site. It doesn't matter if you hit that notification bell. If you send a few bucks, that's great. Either way, we're extremely thankful here at Stock Car Facts, and we won't let you down. Thank you so much.